Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend DG Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Spawn Universe. This one's going to be a little different because it's going to be sometimes monthly, maybe more than monthly. If the Capes and Lunatics have a lot going on, we might not even have it on certain months. But the big difference is it's just going to be me, Phil, for the foreseeable future. So welcome. Again, maybe might get a co-host along the way, but for right now, for the foreseeable future, it's just me. And I figured we needed another monthly show. I wanted to try to do something different, so I figured we have plenty of Marvel, DC, and a lot of those are spoken for with co-hosts and myself. I had toyed with the idea of maybe old school Marvel Comics Transformers series, but we already have a current Transformers series, so I figured, what's different? What do I like? What's different? So I'm like, let's settle on a Spawn podcast. I can talk current stuff. Most of the time, I'm gonna do reviews in order. We're gonna go through all the Spawn comics, so even stuff that's tangentially tied in, like miniseries, maybe appearances and other stuff. Like there's gonna be like a two issue Young Blood episode at some point. So here we are. Long-winded way to say here we are. All right. So yes, for those of you who may not may be new to this, I am Phil. I am one of the many co-hosts and executive producer of the Capes Lunatics podcast. And again, this is the first time I'm going live here with the brand new Capes Lunatics logo. If you're watching on the video, it's up there in the corner there. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, yeah, it'll be on your show art there. So yep, brand new logo, first show for brand new number one, and the new logo for it. All right, and if I seem to stumble or just drone on and on and on, it's because I'm used to talking to someone else. All right, so like I said, laid a little groundwork here that this show, I'm planning to do it monthly. Sometimes you may get an extra episode. You may get 2 a month. There's months if we're lucky enough to like have interviews or something else going on, you may not get an episode. But my plan is to do monthly. All right. So before I get to our classic reviews, I'm going to do the first 4 issues of Spawn for this episode. But before I do, those of you big current Spawn fans will know, but maybe people who haven't been reading for a while, issue 350 came out. The history-making issue 350. The ads even said 32 years in the making, and we got a new ruler on the throne of hell, and it is not Al Simmons, so I won't spoil it for you if you haven't read it. The most current books that come out were Spawn 351 and Scorch number 27, which again, all the new Spawn books say a new ruler, a new world, a new direction. So yes, I will not spoil who the new ruler of hell is, but what I will tell you is, yes, currently in the Spawn books, the dead zones have expanded the cover of the planet Earth. So all the denizens of heaven and hell and anybody empowered by them are now powerless. So it's a whole new ball game. As we saw in the new Spawn issue, it seems. But other supernatural figures are not affected, like vampires. Any current Spawn news, we'll try to keep you abreast of. Like I said, I'm going to try to review the comics in order every so often, maybe for anniversary episodes. Maybe I'll try to get some people in here to maybe review the Spawn, the 1997 movie with me, maybe episodes of the animated series. But yes, for the most part, I'm going to try to deal with the comics. And again, if I see news about merch, I will try to keep you up to date on merch. But like I said, I'm going to try to do classic reviews in order. So again, nice little stroll down memory lane for all you longtime Spawn fans. If you haven't been reading Spawn since issue 1, this may be a good way to get yourself informed if you want to jump on the Spawn bandwagon. And of course, I would love to talk to any creators up to and including Mr. Todd Farland himself, the creator of Spawn. So. Sorry, but the pauses, kids. I don't know where to drink without someone else here to talk. All right. So, for those of you who are familiar with Capes and Lunatics, what myself and a co-host usually do is do the synopsis of episodes or issues and then discuss them. I'm going to try to do that on my own here. So, I'm going to start here. We'll talk about. And again, 1992, Image Comics was formed by Todd McFarlane, Jim Lee, Eric Larson, and others who, I guess, weren't quite happy with the way the comic industry was going at that point. So they went off and started their own company, Image Comics. And of course, again, we got all kinds of new books like Spawn, Youngblood, Savage Dragon. I know I'm missing a ton more, but so, okay, for the first episode, send me feedback. I want to know what your favorite Image comics were at the time. Are you still reading? What's your current favorite Image comic? So, yeah, I wanted that, and I wanted to hear your thoughts on these first 4 issues of Spawn. All right, so there's some of your background there, but Spawn, all right. And especially since I'm by myself, I'm going to do some special visual effects here, kids. All right, so yes, we're going to talk Spawn number 1, of course, episode 1. Of course, we're going to talk Spawn 1. All right, there we go. Spawn number 1 from May 1992. Questions Part 1. Writer, penciler, and inker Todd McFarlane. Yes, kids, remember, he was doing a lot of the heavy lifting here at the beginning. Colorist Steve Oliff, Ken Stacey, and Ruben Rude. Letterer Tom Orzalski, and editors Wanda Kolomajek and Chris Olm. All righty. Spawn, aka Al Simmons, stands on top of a building in New York City. He died and has returned, but he can't recall why he's there. He remembers being tricked and how this wasn't the deal he expected. 5 years ago in 1987, flashback time, kids, news flash reports discussed the recent death of American hero Albert Simmons, who had saved the president's life previously working in the CIA. Some channels reported on how his wife, Wanda Blake, appeared with another man at the wake, Martin Alexander. Spawn recalls being a part of the CIA, Jason Wynn, and his death. He wanted to return to someone he loved. When he sees a vision of his wife, he recalls making a deal with a demon to return. He curses the demon as it was his terms, and now he can't recall his past life. Spawn feels his new power surging through him and decides to find his wife. Once he gets some answers, he'll track down the demon who screwed him on the deal. At a crime scene elsewhere, Sam Burke asks Twitch Williams, remember these guys, kids, about a mobster murder. Twitch explained several times to Burke that while he was thrown through a window, he died of his heart being removed from his chest and being shoved into his mouth. Burke shows little remorse as several other major crime syndicate members have been killed recently in a similar manner. At a nearby rooftop, Spawn spots several men trying to sexually attack a woman. He easily disposes of them and uses part of his necroplasm to bomb them. As the men flee, Spawn experiences another flashback, even stronger than before, and he feels he must find Wanda. Upon returning to his senses, he finds he wept in the arms of the woman he saved, as she holds him and feels his pain. News reports report on today's news of 1992, kids, that a 4th gangland murder has been committed. There are also reports of the spotting of Spawn. As Spawn wanders through the streets, he angrily pulls down his glove and realizes his body is charred and physically disfigured. Twitch and Sam can't believe the physical damage Spawn caused to several of the gang members with his necroplasm bomb. Elsewhere, Malbolgia watches over Simmons and says out loud to himself that he will have so many more problems coming his way as he breaks into a maniacal laughter. All right, kids. I know this isn't Malbolgia, but yes. All right, so and again, like I said, one of the current Image books that was starting around this time was Young Bloods, which Spawn is mistaken as a member of by one of the gang members. And according to the, and again, we started everything here in this issue, but again, a lot of setup. Al Simmons. What kind of deal did he make? Where has he been for 5 years? Where does he have this new power from? So, lots of questions, again, everything. This is the foundation for everything, kids. Again, they kind of hint at it, but we haven't spelled out hell yet or anything. And of course, we also start with the one of the storytelling devices that Todd McFarlane I think loves, because you see him do it all the time with the heads of the three newscasters from different channels. But according to the last one, the blonde newscaster, Al Simmons was voted one of the sexiest men in 1985. And the government tried to hide it. So, yeah, lots of going on here. This issue is dedicated to Jack Kirby. For those of you who don't know, classic Marvel. Well, and he did go to DC for a while. Creator. He helped Stan Lee create such characters like the Fantastic Four, the Hulk. So yeah, he was a major. The Eternals were his original creation, as was the New Gods over at DC. So yeah, I assume he was a hero of Todd McFarlane's. This issue, of course, a number one, sold, and again, an issue number one in 1992. This issue sold 1.7 million copies during its launch. And again, it's been reprinted in trades and however else, how many times. If you count all those, who knows what that number is. And again, we also, once again, we see for the first time Spawn's power meter, which will become less frequent as time went on. But here, again, we see it go from 9,999 to 9,995 with a necroplasm. So yes, it took off a little 4 there with the necroplasm bomb. All right, so yes, it's all we've laid the groundwork. We have our names. We have Al Simmons. We have Wanda Blake. We have Malbolgia. And I'm trying to remember here. I guess we'll find out as we go through these early issues. But Wanda was seen at Al's funeral, right? At the wake with Martin Alexander. So, did we ever call back to that? Who is Martin Alexander? Or was this Terry Fitzgerald and we changed the name? I don't know. So yes, lots of questions, and again, we're starting the long journey. Again, this is Spawn number 1. 351 came out. So, like I said, we're going to take a little chunks at a time. So someday maybe we'll get current here, but I think we're going to have fun going in order along the way. So, all right, let's get to Spawn number 2. Let me get the cover here, especially for those of you who may not have read this before. All right, there we go. Spawn number 2, and again, these are products of their time, but I do like the they almost look like painted covers. I love the style, and again, the sign of the times, which I miss. Not $1.95, which again probably seemed expensive back in the day, but now I think we would all kill for $1.95 comics. All right, so Spawn number 2. Questions Part 2, June 1992. Again, I think we have the same team here, except just one editor, Wanda Kolomajek. But it seems like everyone's the same. Again, Todd's writing, penciling, and inking. So, all right, now we're going to meet another figure, very famous figure in Spawn lore. A clown stands in an alley discussing all the gruesome ways he can kill someone to a regular alley cat. The clown claims to be the violator to the cat and that he would be going after Spawn later that night. Spawn is drawn to the top of a church cross for the second time. He begins wondering how he'll find his wife and how she'll accept him now that he's been disfigured. He curses at the devil for betraying him in his deal to come back and knows that he's messing with him. He knows he's controlling when he gets these visions and thinks it's a sick, twisted game to him. His thoughts are interrupted when he spots a strange clown waving at him from the shadows of a nearby rooftop. The clown disappears into the shadows. Later that night at the Dawn Court building, mobsters are attacked and have their hearts ripped from their chest. The violator stands over a bloody mess. The news channels report on more heart surgeon killings. Another channel reports on Wanda Blake opening a new care clinic for disabled children. On top of the church, Spawn attempts to use his magic to transform his skin back to the way it was before he had died. He's shocked to find out that he's turned himself into a white man when he knows he should be African American. Sam Burke and Twitch Williams discuss the paperwork piling up on their desk. They now have 6 cases from the heart surgeon and no leads. The violator takes out a mob boss named Gino. He shudders when Gino mutters the name Jesus over and over again and rips out his heart. Spawn receives a flashback of Jason Wynn, who had taught him to fight. He recalls getting into more fights and disagreeing with Wynn's ideals. He found that Wynn was slowly becoming evil. Spawn becomes faint from the shock and exhaustion. He falls into a nearby alley. Upon waking up, he finds the clown and recognizes him from the rooftop. The clown tells him that he is the Spawn and a hellspawn sent back to Earth. Shaking it off, Spawn dismisses the clown and walks away. Upon turning his back, the clown reveals his true form of being the violator and asks him to not turn away and to have a heart. All right. So yeah, again, lots of setup, not a lot of action yet. Well, unless you count the violator ripping gangsters' hearts out. So again, so why is clown ripping hearts out? Is it, I don't know, is he loves the bloodshed? Is he trying to get Spawn's attention? So what's going on here? Stay tuned, kids. This issue, this time, number 2, is dedicated to Steve Ditko. I'm assuming another comic hero of Todd McFarlane's. For those of you who do not know your Marvel Comics lore, Steve Ditko was known for a lot of work, including co-creating Spider-Man and Doctor Strange with Stan Lee. And Spawn's necroplasm this time is depleted from 9,995 to 9,432 with an aesthetic spell, which I guess, I mean, him trying to revert his body back to its normal appearance, which we're going to find out so things about this, like it's not his original body again. All right. Like I said, once again, a lot of setback. From what we hear of Wanda Blake, sounds like she's a very good person. Why is Spawn keep drawn to the roof of a church? Is his subconscious trying to protect him from something? And again, we get more Sam Burke and Twitch Williams, which again, stay tuned. We're going to get a lot more of them. All right, so. All right, let's get the issue 3. And again, we're gonna rev up in the action here, or at least things are gonna start moving here. All right. So there we go. Cover Spawn number 3. Spawn number 3, August 1992. Questions part 3. Same team again as last time. Spawn suddenly recalls his ex-wife's name is Wanda Blake. He decides to head to Central Intelligence Agency headquarters to dig up Wanda's file to find her. He thinks about how he used to think it's an invasion of privacy, but now he just wants his old life back. His memories are slowly returning to him, and he knows the devil was playing with him. He knows there are many unanswered questions he needs to solve, like who the clown was he met in the alley. Elsewhere, Malbolgia laughs as he watches from his throne. He continues his plot to disband his army and use Spawn to aid in gathering the requisite soldiers. He's glad he has sent several other followers to check in on him, as no one from Hell truly trusts each other. Sam Burke and Twitch Williams pour over the casework they have piling up with the mob heart surgeon killings. Outside, Violator prowls the alley, singing songs to himself about murder. At the Central Intelligence Agency headquarters, Spawn breaks in to find Billy Miller sexually harassing his secretary Linda, who is already married. Spawn picks him up by the throat and warns him to keep it in his pants. He then takes the foul on Wanda Blake and retreats into the night. Malbolgia laughs as Spawn uses violence, which he loves and yearns for. On the rooftop, Spawn reads she had just started a fund in his name and maps the information to her current location. Outside Wanda's house, Spawn uses his necroplasm energy to transform into the White Caucasian once more. He rings the doorbell and is beside himself with how beautiful she is. When a small child named Cyan comes to the door, he faints. Upon waking up, he finds Wanda has married Terry Fitzgerald, and together they had their child Cyan. He is belittled as how he could not have children with Wanda, and now understands the devil is playing with him, showing him that his wife has moved on, remarried, and had children. Spawn leaves, wishing her happiness. In a nearby alley, Spawn's spell wears off and he returns to his vigilante costume. The clown walks up and threatens him again. This time he transforms into his true form of the Violator in front of him. Slightly surprised, Violator takes advantage of Spawn's distraction and quickly plunges his hand into his chest, ripping out his heart. Spawn collapses on the ground dead. Violator walks away, shocked that Malbolgia's favorite human was already dead. Violator hears, "Who said anything about being human?" from behind him and turns around to see Spawn rejuvenated with green necroplasm healing his heart wound. All right, kids. So, yes, we're seeing the extent of, well, the lengths the clown and Violator will go to, but also, that we really a new territory here with Spawn. So, can rip out his heart and he's still not going to drop over dead and be over and done with. So, who knows? Okay, this issue was dedicated to Jerry Robinson, another classic comic creator. So, again, not a ton of action this time. But we're laying a lot of groundwork here. I mean, Mr. McFarlane has laid out a very intricate world here. Again, Al Simmons realizes he's been gone for 5 years. His wife has moved on, remarried, had a child. He can't get his original appearance back, and now he's been attacked by his first enemy, the Denizen of Hell, known as the Violator. And again, he can rip his heart out, and he's still going to keep going. So, again, the more we answer, the more questions we get. So, all right, let's get to the final issue this time. Spawn number 4. All right, and like I said, if you watching this on the YouTube, I'm putting up the covers. If not, you should check it out on the YouTube. We can always use the views. All right, with that big Violator face on the cover there. All right, Spawn number 4, September 1992. Questions part 4. Same team again, except Wanda Kliomychek is joined in. Co-editor Terry Fitzgerald. How didn't we just meet a Terry Fitzgerald in issue 3 of the comic? But yes, kids, Todd McFarlane did name some of his early characters after people he knew in real life. So, all right, let's get to this fight. Violator and Spawn engage in a brutal showdown with both losing appendages. Violator is surprised Spawn is more powerful and claims he is supposed to be the stronger one. Malbolgia intervenes, explaining to them that they are both his minions in his battle against Heaven. Their goal is to cause man to do wrong, and Spawn will stop and kill them while doing so, locking them on Malbolgia's side. He claims that Heaven is strong, but they won't be able to create the numbers he can. Malbolgia restores Spawn's lost arm and shows pity on him. He then punishes Violator for his unscheduled killing spree because it influenced crime lords to slow down their evil ways. He locks him in his clown form for a temporary time period. Oh, kid, daddy gave you a timeout. At the Fitzgerald household, Wanda Blake wakes up with a nightmare that Al was reaching out to her for help, but had changed somehow. Terry Fitzgerald lovingly supports her and feels she doesn't have to hide that she can't forget about Al. All right, and this issue was dedicated to Joe Shuster. Again, another big comic name. I believe one of the co-creators of Superman. Spawn's necroplasm levels dropped from 8,821 to 8,000. Or wait, from 8,821 to 8,664 with a plasma blast during the battle with Violator. All right, so yes, we finally got our big battle here. Spawn and Violator went at it. Like we said, it got a lot of ripped appendages off, necroplasm blasts, and basically Malborgia shows up and teases Spawn, repairs his body, and again locks Violator in his clown form, which he can't stand because he looks like a little person clown. So, all right. So there you have it. The first 4 issues of Spawn, or as we called it, the Questions arc. So once again, early attempt here at a first episode. I would like to know. I need feedback, kids. Give me YouTube feedback. I'll tell you how to email us in a second. What do you think about the show? Is there anything else you want to need? Do you want more stuff on the current issues? Again, like I said, I'll try to keep you updated with merch. But yeah, stay tuned, kids. Do you want maybe spotlights on certain characters? Maybe that's what I should do for next episode. Maybe try to decide who the biggest character is in the episode and do a spotlight on them. I think that works. Maybe we should do that now. Let's see. Of course, it's the first issue. It's the first couple issues, and of course, so Spawn should probably be the spotlight here. All right. So, for those of you who don't know, Lieutenant Colonel Albert Al Simmons, USMC, was a highly trained CIA assassin. He was murdered. Okay, we're gonna get into a little bit of spoiler here, kids, but he was murdered by his employer and his former friend, Chapel. But then, as we see later on in King Spawn 5, Jessica Priest is confirmed to be Al's true killer. Simmons sells his soul to Malbolgia in order to return to Earth to see his wife Wanda Blake again. He found he got more than he bargained for. Malbolgia used Al as the reborn Spawn or Hell Spawn to do his bidding. All right, so, and again, Spawn doesn't remember most of this at this point. But Albert Francis Simmons was born in Detroit, Michigan. He was the second of 3 children, Mark, Al, and Richard, to Bernard Simmons, a traveling salesman, and Esther Simmons, a devil worshiper. His grandfather, Henry Simmons, knew a hell spawn called Gunslinger Spawn. It's be a while, but we'll get there, kids. Spawn was a very intelligent and physically strong officer in the United States Marine Corps, attaining the rank of lieutenant colonel. He later joined the United States Secret Service and became a highly decorated member. This led to his promotion to the Central Intelligence Agency. Simmons was recruited into a special division of the U.S. Security Group, a task force with jurisdiction in all domestic and foreign situations, commanded by CIA Director Jason Wynn. And again, the thing he can't remember, he was murdered during a mission in Botswana by his fellow assassin, and acting on orders of Director Wynn, Simmons is sent to hell because of his life as an assassin. He makes a deal with the devil. Simmons agrees to become a Hellspawn and serve Malbolgia if he is allowed to see his wife Wanda one last time. Again, deals with the devil. Make sure you phrase that very, he always says he wants to see her. Malbolgia returns Simmons to the living realm, but with only the barest of memories, a badly burned body, and a watchdog, the clown. So that kind of catches us up to where we were at with these 4 issues, kids. And again, 5 years has passed. That's why one has remarried, has a young child. So, all right. So yes, hopefully, if any of you weren't familiar with early Spawn, this episode was helpful. And if you are not familiar with the early issues of Spawn, I would like to hear your feedback too. Tell me what you think. What can I do to inform you more, entertain you more? And again, I'll try to get my trademark more sound drops in here next time. All right, but I just wanted to lay the groundwork for the first episode. And I think that is it. All right. So, like I said, I'm going to try to do this at least as a monthly. Like I said, timing. Sometimes you might get 2 episodes a month. Sometimes you may not get one. But I think for the foreseeable future, you'll probably get at least once a month podcast here. So, and I'm going to, I'm going to give you your homework, because not only do I want feedback on the first 4 issues of Spawn, I want feedback I can read while I review the next issues on the next episode. All right. So next time when I return, I will be covering for episode 2. We're going to cover Spawn 5 through 8, where we'll meet Billy Kincaid, and we're going to get the payback arc. So yes, send me your thoughts on Spawn 1 through 4. Send me your thoughts on anything you want to see on this podcast. And again, send me your thoughts on Spawn 5 through 8 that I can read as I'm doing this. All right. So send me your thoughts, kids. Email CapesandLunatics@gmail.com or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And you can also find not only, this episode and any upcoming episodes of Spawn Universe, but other episodes of the Capes and Lunatics and Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks podcast. Because yes, we have 2 podcasts with multiple shows, most of them dealing with Marvel and DC Comics. Again, here we're dealing with Spawn. There's also an Energon Universe show where me and 2 of my co-hosts talk the current Transformers and G.I. Joe content coming out of Image Comics. We also have a show or 2 where we just talk pop culture in general, like Salty and Petty over on Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks. So yeah, if you're brand new, if this is your first time listening, give all our podcasts a listen. Usually, if everything isn't your cup of tea, you're going to find at least one show you enjoy. So yes, please. But you can find all of our episodes for both podcasts. You can find social media. You can find merchandise, which again, we have new merchandise. Like I said, we have new logos. So of course we're going to get new branding merchandise. We're also going to, you can also find, a Cash App link. Again, if you just want to be kind and send us random money through a Cash App link, you can find our Cash App link there, Capes and Lunatics. For any of you millionaires out there who might just want to pay it forward. So yes, rain random money on us.
Make it rain.
And of course, we also have a Patreon where currently my co-host and I, Lilith Hellfire, talking something different. We talk so many comics. We talk different stuff over there. Like the March episode of our Patreon, Lilith and I talked about conspiracy theories, American politics. Very interesting stuff. And again, if you're looking for something other than comics, there's some bonus content there. And of course, it's completely uncensored, kids, behind the paywall. So yeah, those bad words fly. All right. So find all of that all in one place. That's tubespace.io/Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network. That's tubespace.io/Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network.
More vicious and brutal than ever.
Gets better every year, kids. All right. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully I didn't annoy you by doing this by myself. All right. So yes, come back. Like I said, probably around the month for Spawn Universe number 2. Where we'll cover Spawn 5, 6, 7, and 8. Again, please send me your feedback from the first 4 issues from this episode. Issues coming up next episode. Send me your thoughts on the current stuff. What do you liking? What's your favorite book out of the 4 current books? All right, kids. Remember, please join me next time. And remember, we'll take a little journey to hell and back.